Aloha, my beautiful ones, and welcome to today's episode of Meet Your Spirit Journey Journeys every Sunday at 21 o'clock. Today's a special one because we are probably gonna get meeting with the blue moon that we had, I think, a little over 12 hours ago. So we're fully in that energy, and I'm very excited for that today. For those of you who haven't been here before, stay tuned because I do explain a little bit so that we can go into the guided journey later. For those of you who have already participated, you can come back in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Take your time because I think you've already heard the first part, unless you want to hear it again. I feel like that first part is always a little different every time because I don't have a set for this. I just got the cards ready that I will read before we get started. And what the cards are for, I'm going to get started today with the cards first. What the cards are going to be for is to give us a little inspiration as to the energies of the coming week, and also maybe a little, what should we call it? Like the help with the intention that you might want to use for today's journey. So if this is your first time here, aloha, my beautiful soul. My name is May. I'm a neurospicy cyberwitch here to help you unravel anything that has to do with your witchiness, hypersensitivity, high sensitivity, or if you feel like an empath, or neurospicy, mainly ADHDers, because those are the ones that I resonate, I think, most with. Um, but any kind works as well, or anybody who is interested in energies in general. Yeah. And I started these journeys every Sunday because one of the things that I notice with my people, my clients, everybody in my circle, that one of the biggest things is that they told me that they didn't feel themselves, that they felt like they were disconnected from their spirit guides. And so these Sunday journeys were created for you to to connect with your spirit guides, to see them to on a regular basis. Because one of the things that, unfortunately, I know there's a saying, and usually I'm not a big fan of those kinds of sayings, but in this case, you know, practice makes perfect. And the more we practice it, then the better we get. And it has two effects because on one hand, it's about, not being too judgmental with your own thoughts and learning to tune out, to say the brainy part, or like my Hawaiian teacher used to say, the mana'o, the I would say the consciousness that we have that sometimes comes in and goes like, when we start seeing the magical things, it starts going like, that can't be happening, you can't be seeing a dragon right now, or you can't be seeing this or that right now. So the more we practice, the more we learn to listen to that voice, to those images, to the magic and all around us. Um, so on one hand, we turn this one off that tells us it can't be happening, and on the other hand, we practice for ourselves and learn to understand when is it my brain overthinking, because I know there's a lot of overthinkers out there. And and when it's not, when it's actually really our higher self or our spirit guides or whoever, sending us messages. That's the first thing. That's why I started doing these. Why I do these, you can see this connection. This image is basically represents me because I have a very deep shamanic foundation from a beautiful teacher that I learned here in Germany, an amazing shaman. And yeah, I'm very grateful for that base that he gave me. And these are two of my drums that I have. And on the other side, this image also made by myself on Big Island with my beautiful Kumu Mahalani when I was learning, doing a deep internship with her. And for me, she was sort of like the cherry on top of a huge, studies of, Hawaiian philosophies, Ho'oponopono, doing a lot of Lomi Lomi and inner work myself. And then, of course, deepening all of that. Those are the things that have been connected within myself and are the reason why I'm here. And they basically, how do I put this? They sh shaped everything that I know nowadays. And I'm grateful that because of these two foundations, I now live a very open spirituality. Like we don't have to, it's not religious based, and it's not, like I don't want to put it in the box, right? It's not in a box. It's universal energy laws that exists out there, and that especially for us neurospicy people, this can be very helpful once we learn to understand them because they can help us understand ourselves way better. And I'm so excited because I will hopefully soon be able to do a master class specifically on this very beautiful form of philosophy. I'm going to say that it that way. Um, but yeah, that's something for another day. For today, we're going to dive into a form of, I'm going to say guided journey, it's sort of a form of a guided meditation. And I know that if there's shamans out there, they're going to go, May, shamanic journeys are never guided. And yes, you're right, they're usually not. In my case, at the end of my shamanic practices, or not at the end because I'm not done yet, but, learning, when I was learning to be that, my spirits drew me to start doing guided journeys at first. Nothing to do with shamanic journeys or anything, just in general guided journeys for people. Because we noticed that one of my traits and gifts that I brought to this world is actually holding space for people and then guiding them through spaces so they can align themselves. That's why this YouTube channel is called Unraveling, because that's one of my gifts that I bring, that I can help people unravel themselves better, right? So with the whole unraveling part, so I started doing those journeys, and at some point, and I remember, and this is it was incredibly important for me because I really had sort of like an initiation of my spirits, and I really felt my spirit guides. I think it was about a year after my shamanic teacher had passed to the other side. And it felt like he had his fingers in there as well. I remember coming out of one of those guided journeys and really feeling like my spirits guides going like, this is it. This is how we want you to work. Because I know the shamanic part, I have that foundation. So the way I guide the journeys is a little bit like a shamanic journey, just that it's guided because I help you get there. Because, some people don't have the time or the connections to actually do, go through a whole shamanic learning period. And the way I do it is that you don't need that. If you don't feel the calling, please, if you do feel the calling, go for it because it's a beautiful, practice to learn. It's a beautiful form technique that can help us. But if for those of you who don't, you can just come in here. You don't need to have any experience. Of course, it would be better to dive into a deeper course of this, but the way I guide them, you don't need to. And especially because I think at one point, usually when you go deeper into these kinds of things, you learn how to connect to the different forms of spirits, which is completely, I mean, it's completely okay. There's different kinds of spirits like the ancestors, the spirit guides, sort of like teacher-like energies that have already lived on this planet and are now back as spirit guides. Then there's, the teachers and healers. I'm going to put them in one or under one name. Then there's spirit animals, magical creatures. Then there's, other magical, I'm going to put them in the magical forms, the angels, of course. If you work with angels, in my case, I've been working for years with dragons and I love their dragon energy. And they're very present in this, by the way. They had a very big push on creating these Sunday journeys. And so as you can see, there's different forms of spirits, even extra, some that feel like they're extraterrestrial energies, what you would think that are ghost spirits that are there. So all of these forms of spirits are there. And I know that in certain teachings, and I mean the shamanic one as well, they put them in different levels and they're in different forms and, they come and help for different topics and things, which has all its, it's all good and it's all there. But in my case, and this is how I was brought and taught with my spirit guides was to share in a way that we don't need those kinds of classifications, because the thing is that I believe for each one of us, there's a amount, there's spirit guides out there, no matter where. For me, spirit guides is a top name for all of them, right? For all the ones that I just named, whether it's angels, magical creatures like trolls and fairies and things like that, or dragons, or unicorns, or yet just I'm sorry, not just, you're beautifully amazing, the spirit animals that can come and help us, right? All of them for me, I don't want to categorize them, but because I used to, right? So, and then my manao, my brain, my um how do you say, my mind would come in and go like, okay, so for this problem, definitely I'm going to need a bear, right? Or for this problem, I'm definitely going to need my healer energy, so and so, right? The thing is that at one point I learned that I was calling for that very specific spirit and was expecting that spirit or that spirit energy to come. But in real life, I needed someone else, something else, or a different kind of energy, right? And so that's why, and this is why I don't work with these kinds of classifications, because, you know, we just go in there and ask which of the spirit guides is going to work with us today. And whoever is the right one, whether it's, you know, human spirits, or ancestral spirits or animal spirits or whatever, that those are the ones that are going to show up. And those are the ones that we're going to practice to have, with us. And yeah, and they're going to be either showing themselves. So here's the next thing. There's different forms, or I'm going to call it clairvoyance, because some people see, some people feel, some people hear, some people know. It's like an inside knowing. Some people taste, some people actually feel on their skin. So there's different kinds of clairvoyance, and I'm not going to say this is the one for you, because I don't just have the view. Sometimes I see, sometimes I hear. Like I really hear it's like they're standing right there and talking into my ear. And sometimes it's a deep knowing. Those are the three that I have noticed so far. Um, so please leave that part open so that you can be open yourself for whichever, is yours. Um, in case, for those of you being here maybe for the first time or some of the times, sometimes we are being zoned out, or, we get to sleep. It feels like sleeping sort of during these journeys, which is also completely okay. Please allow yourself to have that. Sometimes we need that, because especially for us, very, mind-based ones, for us that are very, where the mind is very strong. I have noticed that sometimes spirit just knocks us out, right? And so it's sort of like a trance where we get to go, and then we just come back when the journey ends, because I always bring you back. I always have a return. And here's the important part that you should know in case you wake up after I've done the return part. And this is the breathing where we end, that you have as your tool for whenever we end. And if you don't feel like you've come back to your body properly, please go and do this. So you feel, you breathe. It's a special form of breathing that grounds you back into your body. And that's inhaling through your crown chakra, through the highest point in your head, and exhaling through your feet, right? So you become this sort of like channel. You can imagine energy flowing into your head, go like this. You inhale it through your whole body and exhale it to your feet. And just by doing that a couple of times, you will return back into your body. All right. I always do it guidedly, so I will always guide you to that at the end. But just for you to know, in case you are one of those who fall asleep, or are that you trance into, set into trance, allow that to be something that, happens there. For those of you asking if there's anything evil or bad that can come in there, no, it can't, because I do close the circle for all of us. This is the intention for me setting right now with our spirit guides, mine and yours, because I'm going to be calling all the spirit guides of everybody participating in these journeys now and forever, because there is, energetically, there is no timeline. So right now, when you are experiencing this, you're experiencing it with everybody who will ever listen to this journey at some point. So we are bringing this in together. We're keeping the circle. I'm inviting all our spirit guides from all walks, whether it's ancestral or helper energies, healer energies, guiding energies, angels, animals of all sorts, magical creatures like unicorns, dragons, fairies, trolls, etc. I hope I'm not missing out on anyone out there. You're all invited coming in. Please help us to keep the circle safe and protected for this journey today, as we say so. And I'm already feeling my dragons flying around and my spirit ancestors coming in. Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming in. And our my favorite one. Thank you so, so, so much. Our beautiful, wonderful elephant coming in. Ah, thank you. For those of you who haven't watched before, the elephant is one of the very first one of the spirit guides that has been showing up for me ever since we started these journeys. And sorry, it's a she. It's a grandmother elephant here that supports our circle and helps our circle and holds our circle. Thank you. And of course, we're calling in the four elements, the four directions. All of you, thank you so much. The universe, of course, is supporting us as well as Mother Nature as well. And Gaia, our planet that keeps us safe here. Thank you so much for keeping the circle safe for us for the work that we're going to be doing today. With this, I just close the circle for us, for everybody in here. And so whatever we see here, whatever you are going to, again, see, feel, however your clairvoyance um, is going to be help, to help you. In case it doesn't usually happen, but in case, you are one of the few that starts seeing something that feels scary, please call into the ether to your spirit guides, whoever they are. If you don't know them yet, say it like I just said, to my spirit guides, whoever you are, please come and help me and make this less scary for me. Make me understand this so that I can understand you better. All right? Because the thing is, with all this protection, I cannot protect you if there's, I'm not going to call it negative energy because there's some form of, sometimes we have hurt, pain, you know, emotions that we haven't worked through that are still there, and we have been afraid to feel them. So in this work, sometimes something like that might come up. That, of course, scares you because you've been pushing it away all the time, right? So ask your spirit guides to help you to make this softer so that you can understand and, not feel frightened by it. All right, we have enough space. So I will guide you to the point where you see your spirit guides, and then I will leave you. And that is the shamanic part, because that's where you just follow your question, that's what I mentioned earlier with the intention, because any shamanic journey is always with an intention. So you choose the intention that you want for yourself. Whether it's something that you're having, maybe there's something next week, maybe there's something, um, a challenge that you're facing right now in real life. Maybe you want to pick one of the cards intentions that I'm gonna draw in a couple of minutes. Or, maybe you just have the one that you just want to meet your spirit guides and allow them to talk to you, you know? Whatever intention it is, the intention is important because, especially for us neurospices, we sometimes go all over the place with our heads, right? And that's one of the things that I love about the journeys, the way I do them, is because I guide you, I hold your hand until that part, and then you're allowed to feel and see whatever wants to come up. And sometimes, before we're able to actually see our spirit guides, it's a lot of other stuff that wants to come through. And you allow that to flow through, right? But you keep your anchor, the intention. The intention is your anchor. So whenever you feel like your brain is going all over the place, I'm not saying reel yourself in, but allow it to pass while you start, sort of like an incantation or affirmation of your intention. I want to see this. Please, I have a problem with this and that. I want support with this. I need guidance with that, right? You keep repeating it until you focus back, until your spirit guide takes you there. And again, like I said, if it doesn't work out too much, don't worry. Please don't give yourself please give yourself as much grace as possible. There are days where these are, where our brain, I always call it our thought carousel just goes all over the place, right? So allow those moments to happen and to be the observer and just let them pass by. Sometimes that helps for you to come back to your intention, but sometimes it's just one, I think, wasn't it Brandy? It's just one of them days, right? So it's just, ask your spirit guides, how can we make this, sort of like a wellness journey for me, because you're seeing these thoughts going all over the place. And I think it's just helpful to become the observer and allow them to be. Because how often throughout the day do you allow your thoughts to go wherever they want to go, right? Sometimes this could be the right place for you as well. So if you can't anchor yourself with the intention, use use that as, a way to just be the observer of your thoughts for that moment until I call you back and then we return together to here. All right, I think I said everything that was needed to be said, and I think I'm always taking a little longer than I'm usually supposed to. But let's start. I'm doing this. I'm shuffling them again. I'm shuffling them again. They don't have any, they're completely blank on that side. I'm shuffling them again because I just did that. I'm just sharing that because last week it happened. I think for the past 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes we've had, the same card show up, which I believe is, because it's just, it's apparently it has to be that way, right? So let's go with this for a sec. Sorry. See, that's energy. Energy moving around. Let me just go with card number one, card number two, and this one was sticking out already. Card number three. Here we go, my beautiful ones. So we're starting with feel good. Find 5 feelings that you want to live and live them as often as you can. So as an idea, write them down somewhere, and, post-its around the house and remind you of that to help you, shift the energy a little bit more. In case you want to, that's one of the things that I usually do. In case you want to screenshot that as a reminder for the coming week, you'll get the chance right now. Here we go. And I'm gonna giving you time, 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. There you go. And if you want to use it as an intention for today's journey, is that what can I do to feel better? What can I do to feel good? Or, what you can take as a question with you for your spirits is, what does feeling good mean for me? You know, if you don't know what the feeling of good means for you, you can take that in and ask your spirit guides. The second one, and I think this is something that we've already had in the past, celebrate yourself, all that you are, all that you have achieved, and all that you will achieve. Be ready to screenshot this in 3, 2, 1, go. There you go. And the third one, oh, that's why I was sticking out. One of my favorites. Rules are guidelines. I love this card because when this card shows up, it's because apparently there's something that we have been thinking it's so hard that I can't because I'm not allowed to, or I'm not supposed to, or I'm this or that. And the important thing for us in this case sometimes is to understand that they're meant as guidelines, And I'm not talking about, legal rules or something like that. Please, always, I don't want you to end up somewhere in jail. I'm talking about emotional rules that we have set out. Like you're only allowed to do this, or you can only do this, or achieve that if, change that point of view from rules to guidelines. All right. So take this with you if you want as an intention as to, maybe where am I, dear spirit guides, where am I following too many rules? Where am I maybe even blocking myself because of too many rules? All right, get ready to screenshot in three, two, one, go. Perfect. All right, my beautiful ones, let's get started. Oh yeah, one of the things that I think a lot of the times I forget about this is because there's a 50-50 chance that you like or don't like music in guided journeys. I don't do music. I always recommend to do Weichsel. At the moment, I'm working on creating my own podcast episode. Sorry, my own music channel. Where do I have him? Oh, I thought I was searching in YouTube. Hold on, let me search for him in YouTube in case you want to put him. I think it's a him. It's an artist that I found at some point, and I really like the music that he creates. So I'm going to add him here to the chat in case you want to look for him. Here you go. And in case you want to put on that music, and yeah, and then we're going to get started. Find yourself a beautiful spot. Being the neurodivergence that we are, you don't need to, fuss about being too stiff. Allow yourself, if you want to do this walking around, do this walking around. If you just want to sit down or lay down, do it that way. Um, yeah. I always recommend, do it in a form, in a way that you can listen to my voice. If it's your first time, later you can just use the energy of the group, that we're here. And I'm gonna see. I feel like this blue moon is a little bit different. Let's see how what comes up. I'm gonna have a zip and give you time to, organize yourself wherever you want to go. Hmm. We're going to get started with a breathing technique that is a little bit similar to what I just mentioned about the end, but we're going to do it now. And it's a little bit different because it helps us to just return to our body. Oh, so I'm sorry when I'm yawning. It's not tiredness, it's energy flowing through that wants to be moved. And in my case, it yawns sometimes. So in case that happens to you, just allow it to happen. Usually comes at the end. It's interesting that it's coming now. All right. So inhale through your crown chakra. This is like sort of like the highest point on your head. And I know you can't just imagine as if you're inhaling through your crown chakra. If it's a little bit hard to imagine, allow yourself to imagine as if it's like a shower coming from above, and then inhale through there. Energy shower coming from up there, going, inhaling, let it go through your whole body, and then exhale it through your belly button, through your navel. Oh, see, that's energy moving. So is yawning, is burping, is coughing, sneezing, whatever wants to show up, allow it to happen. And keep on breathing. Inhale through your crown chakra, exhale through your belly button. Allow yourself to imagine yourself receiving this beautiful universal energy that goes through your body. And while it does, it starts collecting everything, all your worries, all your thoughts of worry, anything that is not serving you right now. It's all just being collected by this universal energy. And then once you exhale it through your belly button, it's just taking out of your system. So every time you inhale universal energy and you exhale all your worries and thoughts from the week that are not serving you anymore. And you feel how your body becomes lighter and lighter and more at ease. And while you are feeling your body becoming lighter and more at ease, you imagine yourself being on a platform in the ocean. It's not an island, but it's sort of like a magical platform where we find ourselves in a circle, sitting in a circle together, sitting there, enjoying the softness of the ocean carrying us, holding us, and at the same time being able to see a beautiful night sky over us. And with it, we see a beautiful, beautiful moon, full moon, right over us, looking at us on this platform. And while you are arriving here, allow yourself to feel if the platform is soft or if it's hard, or if maybe you're smelling the salty water of the ocean, or maybe if this platform is attached to something. But no matter what, you're here with us together. We're here enjoying this beautiful night sky. And once we have all settled in and come together, we feel this platform magically starting to hover and to fly higher and higher out of the ocean. And we can watch Earth become smaller and smaller behind us or underneath us. And this magical platform takes us up into the sky, into the universe, and we can see, the ocean and the world with its continents become smaller and smaller. And then we see, because this platform is actually flying to the moon and getting us closer and closer to this beautiful floating rock. Hmm. And our magical disc gets us closer to the moon until it finds its place and lands. And it lands in one corner where there's already some beings waiting for us. And the platform attaches itself to that space. And as it opens up, we all see all of our spirit guides that are supposed to be here with us for today's journey, awaiting us and welcoming us to this place, this magical place on the moon. If this is your first time here, take a moment to get to know the spirit guides that are showing up today, whether it's one or more. And maybe you can visualize them, or you can just simply feel them that they are there. And with your spirit guides, they take you into this magical, beautiful place. However it may look for you, allow yourself to see whatever wants to be seen or feel or know. Ask the questions that you want to ask and ask for the guidance that you need for the coming week. And always remember what your intention is for today's journey so that your spirits can help you. And whenever it's time to come back, I will call you back here to this place where our platform is connected with theirs. Slowly you return back from wherever you were with your spirit guides back to our platform, to this beautiful entrance at the moon. Allow yourself a moment to let everything sink in here. With your spirit guides, with their words. And in this gathering of all of us at our platform, we feel the presence of a beautiful being that has come here to talk to us. And that is the energy of this beautiful, magical, incredible blue moon. Its energy is showing itself as a being here to talk to us. And in its presence, we ask it to give us a blessing for the coming week, for the coming times. And if it has a special message for all of us. So we take a moment to feel into this blue moon energy right in front of us, to receive the message and maybe even a blessing. Allow yourself to receive whatever blessing this moon has brought for you. And we ask our spirit guides in the moon to give us a word, an anchor of some form, an image, a smell, a sound, something that will allow us to remember everything that we received today for the coming week. Mm. And with it, Let it anchor within yourself. A big thank you to all our spirit guides. A big thank you to the blue moon. And we return back to the platform with the one that we came here for. We step onto it, turning one more time to wave goodbye to our spirit guides, knowing very well that they always are with us. Just like the moon energy, the lunar energy that is always with us, even though we don't see it. And with it, our platform starts to hover again and magically starts flying away from the moon. We can feel our presence with us as we fly back to Earth. We see it coming closer, our beautiful blue planet. And we zoom back on our platform as it hovers back, coming closer to all the continents and the oceans, and then it finds our spot, our beautiful spot at the ocean again. And it slowly descends and ends up back at this beautiful spot on the ocean where we see the beautiful night sky over us that is so well lit. In spite of the moon being so bright, we can still see all the stars and maybe even the Milky Way. And we are back on this platform on Earth, feeling the soft waves underneath the platform. And with a couple of deep breaths, we just arrive here and maybe smell the ocean again. Feel the waves softly carrying us. And we focus back on our breathing, how we're inhaling air, it flowing through our body, and then exhaling it. And with the next inhale, you imagine yourself inhaling universal energy through your crown chakra, letting that energy go through your whole body until it is released through your feet when you exhale. So inhale again through your crown chakra, let it go through your whole body, filling you up with the magical blue moon energy, and exhaling it through your feet into the ground. And as you keep on breathing like this, your body becomes more and more filled with beautiful blue moon energy. Thank you so much. And you feel yourself more and more with your body breathing in and out. Exhaling through your feet, you feel yourself more and more grounded back into your body. And And whenever you're ready, whenever you feel like you have arrived back in your body, you take one last deep breath. Exhaling through your feet again. And when you're ready, you open up your eyes and come back into the here and the now. Welcome back, my beautiful soul. Allow yourself to let that all sink in for a second. If you want to, write it down. And whenever throughout the week, if you ever want to feel coming back to this, you can always find the journey under the same link. I hope you have a beautiful time with the blue moon energy. And maybe if you feel like it, I'll see you again next Sunday at 21 o'clock.